Do they know? They want to shake you out of your bag. Are you going to let them? Oh my God. Got some loud noises going on. Luke Adams, thanks for the follow. Hey, Facebook followers. Wow, look at that. Okay. We are live on Facebook. We are live on TikTok finally. We're live on X, YouTube, Facebook. No longer Instagram is an option, so a little confused about that. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, we're going to do an AMA about crypto today. I hope these new followers aren't going to be a bother because they're just going to keep coming in, it looks like. Oh my gosh. Hey man, when launch PulseX? My guess is that PulseX is going to launch sometime this year. The way that Richard is. Oh my god. I've got to stop these. Pause the alert queue. So all the 100 followers from Facebook are like preloaded. Oh my god. All right. Now we're not going to have new follower alerts for 100 consecutive times in a row. Yeah, look, my guess for PulseX.com, it's already in the beta. We know this is Richard Hart's new project, by the way. And what is Richard Hart planning, in case you were wondering? Richard Hart is making a new project, which I believe is going to be an olive branch, more of a reputation cleanup, because let's be honest, Richard doesn't have the best reputation in the space right now. But with him making the ZK technology, it's going to transcend only PulseChain. It's going to be something that Ethereum guys could use, Solana guys could use, Base network, Binance Smart Chain, it doesn't matter. It's going to be an on-ramp that gets around centralized exchanges with no KYC. So it could really shake things up a little bit. And as we've proven with peer.xyz, there's quite a bit of volume and quite a bit of demand for a service like this. Now, what if there was a token assigned to that service where it gets bought and burned just like PulseX? So this would be something that I believe every chain would find useful, which is probably part of the strategy behind it. Obviously, it's also just to make crypto a better place. Exchanges are the cancer of crypto. So what PulseX is going to do is get around corrupt exchanges. They freeze your funds. They turn you off without warning. They don't have to tell you why. And everybody's getting hacked on centralized exchanges. Most of the time, it's not people losing their private keys. It's actually people getting socially engineered from like a fake telephone call. And they're getting really good, guys, at this 11 Labs, like text to speech. You can have a scammer in India and they can sound just like a British person. And this happened to my friend, right? He got socially engineered from Coinbase support, which, by the way, Coinbase will never call you. The support team will never call you on the phone. All right. But they're doing this to people and they're tricking people into giving them all their personal info, including their password and their private keys to their Coinbase wallets and stuff like that. Never give anyone your passwords. If you're getting a text or a call from like MetaMask support or Coinbase support or some hot girl, you need to block him. Okay? You need to block that scamming piece of shit because there are a lot of lowlifes out there trying to take your crypto away. The best way to do it is to write your private keys down on paper or metal. And by the way, guys, speaking of writing your seed words down on metal, speaking of that, let me see here. We've got, if you look in the tray below, we've got these metal seed word cards for sale now. So these metal seed word cards from my Shopify store, you can actually buy a Pulse metal engraving kit with the stencil, the engraver. Check that out. It's a nice way to make your seed words waterproof and fireproof. And it looks cool because they've got some really cool laser etching on the set up a store on YouTube. I thought I already set this up. Let me refresh the page here. Ah, yes, here we are. Display products on channel, yeah. So you should see that product right there on the channel. Let me just make sure it's like in the live stream. We'll put the product right here. We'll put my own product. So this is a good way to protect your seed words, guys. Write them down on paper or write them down on metal. And if you want this really cool metal engraved seed word kit, you can check that out. I'm selling them on my channel now. We've only got a limited time first edition run of, I think, 100 of these. There's 98 left, so get them while you can. If you don't see that, just refresh the page. Tickle that like button. Pump our bags, everybody. What's up, Cash555? X Monkey, how's it going? Duke of Boo says, cheers, what's up, everyone? What do I think about built-in Railgun wallet fork to PulseX? Think that's possible? Look, maybe it's possible, but I know LibertySwap is handling the Railgun bridge. The thing about Railgun is that it doesn't really, it's a completely different thing. It's on-chain privacy. But PulseX, in my opinion, is completely different because it's like you're getting from the fintech world, like Venmo, Revolut, Cash App, Wise. You're going from your bank to crypto. So at that transaction, I don't think there's really a good way to make Railgun useful. Railgun is for funds that are already on chain. Now, maybe there's a way. Maybe Richard is super smart. Maybe he's thinking about that, but I would leave that up to the Liberty Swap guys too. They're making a wallet that's going to have Railgun baked in. Who knows? Maybe Internet Money will have some Railgun features. Pretty soon it's going to be so common to use Railgun. Like, I want everybody using it. I think everybody watching this channel should experiment with Railgun, just get a sense of how it works, because privacy is a human right, and you don't want it so that every time you pay for a cup of coffee in crypto, you're going to be paying for stuff in crypto, guys. In the near future, you're going to be paying for stuff in crypto in 5 years, 10 years. And let's say you got 100 grand, right? Why should everybody be able to know that I'm walking around with 100 grand just because I paid for a $5 cup of coffee? So you don't want to expose all your bank information every time, because blockchains are public. Blockchains are public, where you don't want to pay employees and them know how much money you have, because then the employees can scam you or complain, socially engineer you. Sometimes they'll quit if they don't think they're getting paid enough. Just basic privacy like works in the real world. It's the same reason you don't show everyone your purchase history on Chase Bank, even though Palantir knows. Palantir's always watching, guys. Oh yeah, I'm about to start a new partnership with this peptide company too, so I'm going to be an affiliate partner for peptides. They're like, what peptides are for longevity is it's like decentralized crypto, but for the body. Taking your power back, self-sovereignty. I'm going to be talking a lot more about peptides, especially as I start using them. I'm going to get juiced up pretty soon here, boys and girls. But I hope everyone's doing good and surviving in the bear market. Prices are still wrecked, so nothing to really write home about there. Do I know why HexScout has been down for a week? I know HexScout basically bailed. I wouldn't trust that HexScout's going to maintain their website anymore, guys. If you want a new, better option, PulseChainStats.com. PulseChainStats.com, in my opinion, does far more than HexScout. I like it better, and they don't collect any data. With HexScout, there was some allegations that maybe they were collecting data on people. But if you want a portfolio tracker and you want statistics and a lot more other cool features, they've even got AI. PulseChain Stats is the new, better HexScout. I think HexScout, from what I remember, they kind of rage quit. The bear market gets to people, guys. It's hard to make a product and not get paid. It's hard to do this stuff as just a labor of love if you're not getting paid. Some developers come and go. We've seen this over and over. Remember Staker app or all these different websites. People maintain them, and sometimes they decide to not maintain them. I don't know about HexScout being down for a week because I just don't use it anymore, because I just don't expect that they're going to keep it around. What is Railgun? Good question, sir. Railgun is a privacy technology. If you go to railgun.xyz, you're going to be able to download that locally on your desktop. So it's basically a crypto wallet, but it has one extra function where you can shield your funds. So once you shield your funds, they go into the ZK address. And from there, they're untraceable. They're untraceable until you unshield them back to a regular Ethereum mainnet address. So you could shield them, and you could unshield them to a fresh wallet, right? If you fund a fresh wallet that way. Or if you want to pay somebody else, you shield all your coins, and then you just unshield tiny bits at a time to their public address. So you could either send from the private ZK address to the public address, or you could send from the private ZK address to another private ZK address. And then once they're in your public address, you could privatize them, or you could just use them like a regular public wallet too. Railway Wallet. Railgun is the technology behind Railway Wallet. Railway Wallet. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Railway Wallet's just a skin, guys. They're using the underlying tech. Just like Liberty Swap is building a ZKX wallet. Keep your eyes on ZKX Wallet by Liberty Swap. I don't know what they're doing yet, but they're going to airdrop their ZKX token, I'm guessing, to the Peacock token holders. You probably don't want to miss that. And they're going to integrate like a Railgun skin as well. Basically just the ability to shield and unshield your tokens. Extra Crypto is right. He says Railgun's probably actual privacy wallet right now. Probably the only actual privacy wallet right now. Would be cool to see PulseChain supported. I think, I don't want to speak for Liberty Swap, but I believe they might be looking into some application, some fork of Railgun on PulseChain. You just need broadcasters, and you just need it up, you just need the same thing running on a new network. Like, they have Railgun running on Ant Smart Chain, pretty sure. So why couldn't you get it on Pulse? I opened the wrong fake site to buy PLS and had all my Pulse and PulseX and other ETH coins stolen. Jesus. Guys, be careful out there, man. Be careful. I'm so sorry to hear that. Remove permission from all sites in MetaMask before locking the wallet. Look, if you're Googling like PulseChain Bridge, what people do is they put phishing websites up, okay? So you really need to be careful. I'm sorry to hear that, but for the people listening, security tip, right? If you want to know about PulseChain.com, only use the links that are on PulseChain.com. Only use those official links. Type the link into the URL bar directly, because if you're going to a phishing link and you connect your wallet, you accidentally allow some signature or permissions, it could be a drainer and it could drain all your money. And it happens to people. Extra Crypto says PulseChain stats is really cool. Crypto Mike says, hey, coffee. Hex Monkey says plsfolio.com is also great. I'm also a big fan of plsfolio.com. They've done really good work, good UI. I've got my public wallet there. I paid for the premium. You just get like a banner and some extra design perks. Have I heard of Polypulse Bets? No, I have not. Polypulse Bets, is that a prediction market, I'm assuming? Extra Crypto said, yeah, grab links from official sites. Yeah, guys, be careful out there. Be careful. Write your seed words down. Get yourself a Pulse Feed storage card. Check out the tray below. If you're on YouTube, go scroll down on YouTube and you can buy those from my Shopify store. It's a product that is very simple. It comes with a graphene pen, so you can etch onto metal. It's stainless steel, and that's how you write your seed words down the right way. You don't take a screenshot of them. You don't put them on iCloud. Please don't put them on Dropbox or whatever, because that gets hacked all the time. Social engineering is a real thing. Once people know you got crypto, they'll try whatever they can to get you to take that crypto out of your hands. So what's going on? Richard Hart made a new tweet, didn't he? Richard Hart made a new tweet. He's talking about, what is Richard talking about these days? Which Mr. Hart's. This is who you're commenting against online. Amazing. Smooth brains out there, everybody. Smooth brains. For some reason, technically minded people have terrible emotional intelligence. This is Nick Szabo, who worked for Blockstream of Epstein emails fame, but more notably coined the term smart contract, which in actuality, the term caused more harm than good because software code is quite unlike a contract, and using said language just causes confusion. Anyway, he thinks purity tests are a great policy. I guess he thinks blocking replaces discussions because I'm blocked now. Nick, baby, I'm just trying to help you get your EQ up to a reasonable level, dude. Let's see. What are Nick Szabo and Richard Hart beefing about today? Nick Szabo, guys, one of the creators of Bitcoin. Okay, he was the OG on the Cypherpunk mailing list. He one time had a Freudian slip in an interview. You'll hear him say, back when I invented Bitcoin. A lot of people think he's Satoshi. In all reality, Satoshi is probably like a group of 5 to 7 people, just cryptography experts from the early 2000s. So Nick Szabo says, if I had on top of my US passport a Hungarian passport, and you knew little else about me, the kind of knowledge voters typically have about politicians or employers typically have about new hires, it would be entirely legitimate and proper for you to question my loyalty. You don't like Elon Musk. I don't like rare exceptional cases being used as an excuse to oppose sound policy. Richard says, I don't like the idea that a person's skin color makes them untrustworthy, nor their parents' nationality, nor where they were born, and hence what passports they ended up with. Seems quite un-American. As you say, your last name is Szabo, and while you jest, you don't mind if blah blah blah. Nick Szabo says your ignorance obviously makes you dislike many good ideas. What is his idea here? Nick Szabo's basically saying be racist, and Richard Hart's saying, yo man, how about don't be racist? Weird. Don't judge a person by the country they were born in. I'm on Team Richard on that one, boys and girls. It's pretty simple. Richard's also talking about privacy, you guys. Privacy is this hot narrative. You'll see Vitalik talking about it. It says people have been to literal jail to bring you zero knowledge proof-based privacy on ETH. The anonymity set is huge. A lot of people are using Railgun. This is good, but almost nobody talks about it. We're talking about it. I'm talking about it. You guys are talking about it in the chat. Up to you guys, chat. If you think privacy is the future, no one's doing it as well as Ethereum. Absolutely no one for years. Zcash and XMR, Monero bros. You're being gimped by having to suck middleman D to trade out, but on ETH, you can stay all on chain. No surprise, middleman theft crap, just smart contract risk, which is the least risk you can hope for in digital finance. He's right. I love Monero. I do respect Monero, and it's the currency of the dark web. But the on-ramps and the off-ramps, this is the critical infrastructure where if you're on Ethereum, you can stay on Ethereum. And the whole world, the elites are moving to Ethereum. This is the title of the video. What are the elites planning? They're moving everything on chain. They're moving all the stable coins on chain. Why are there 300 billion stable coins and 200 billion of those are on Ethereum and the other 80 billion are on EVM compatible chains? It's because they've already selected the winner. ETH is the EVM, the global settlement layer for everything. Real world assets. BlackRock tokenize their BUIDL, BUIDL. They tokenize their first fund on Ethereum. It's doing crazy volume. They've got Ethereum ETFs doing insane fees and volume. Bitcoin ETFs, yeah, but Ethereum it's what's actually coming. It's what people are going to use. Ethereum's going to be the currency of the machines. AI can now have an identity. So you can give an AI agent a wallet, and it can verify its own self-identity, and it can carry that identity around with a reputation score using ERC 8004. which PulseChain can also deploy on smart contracts at the smart contract level. So you have these agents that are trading with each other. What are they trading in? Whatever network coin, base layer token that they were built to receive. So you can give a wallet, you can give an agent a wallet, and it can trade ETH, Pulse, BNB, probably Polygon token, all these different EVM chains. And with X402 protocol, this is the payments protocol. So now agents can pay websites when they're crawling, let's say, for instead of API keys, you can fund an agent with like $100 and it can go pay for itself. It can pay for what it needs to get done on the spot without you having to go keep 8 different API keys updated. This is going to all be happening in the next 5 years. So just stay on top of this, right? Yes, we are launching on the PulseChain network. Hey, look at that. Polypulse bets. It's about time PulseChain gets a prediction market, right? I hope it works out, guys. There's a lot of really fun stuff we could bet on. Look, I don't gamble on prediction markets. I don't even use them, but I think prediction markets have a purpose in terms of marketing value. For example, will Richard get off Interpol by 2026? Will PulseX launch by March 2026? Will PDI peg to $1? It'd be really funny to find out what the truth is, wouldn't it? The problem with prediction markets is getting volume, getting liquidity, and just getting virality. And also to do it in a decentralized way, very hard. That's why Polymarket and Kalshi are completely centralized. The gatekeepers tell you what you can bet on and what you can't bet on. So best of luck to you guys. Prediction markets are hard. I hope it works out. I hope people use it, but I'm also not going to be gambling my entire bag on predictions, but I will probably, they're shareable. They're memeable. You got to understand, I have a nuanced opinion about prediction markets. Their value to me lies in the marketing component. Hey, look at this controversial take. What do you think? Hey, you got to go get a PulseChain wallet, get a little pulse to find out. That's one way to onboard, right? That's why we got pumped out tires. Oh, you like meme coins? Gamble on meme coins on pumped out tires. All the fees get burnt instead of dumped. It's actually healthier for the chain that all the fees, it makes PulseChain more scarce. Pumped out tires. So Richard took pumped out fun and just eliminated all the negative externalities. Pretty cool. X-Edits, what's up? Good afternoon, coffee, says William. Some hopium for eHex. Oh, some hopium for eHex. Man, that's a tough one. I was really hoping more people were gonna liquidity bonds, their eHex and their pHex, but they didn't. And they continue not to. It's entirely illiquid, meaning it could pump, I guess, just on a very small amount of money coming in. Maybe it goes up for the ride along with pHex. Quite frankly, I'm not as bullish on eHex as I am on pHex. That was ever since the market has decided tweet. I mean, it's not going anywhere, eHex, but it appears to me that the founder of the chain believes that concentrating economic energy in one coin on one chain is probably better than multi-chains. It also appears to me that he gave up on the ERC PRC 20 experiment. People don't like to hear this because they're latched on to these ideas because they've got bags. Just calling it like it is. That you got to realize that Richard's a human being, not a god, and that he tries things, and then sometimes he learns and adapts and adjusts. Look, if pHex is pumping, eHex will go up a little bit too. I haven't been buying any eHex personally. Acid Thunder says, evening coffee and all. Somebody, Opus Token says, smog on PulseChain. Some guy's just shilling his coin. All right, you got me to say it, but I'm not going to go research it right now. It takes way too much mental bandwidth to research a coin and talk to you guys at the same time. Freedom is something too many take for granted. That's right, up and to the right. Too many. Take that for granted. Acid Thunder says, use PulseX beta. Works pretty good. Hey, that's good to hear, Acid Thunder. By the way, guys, if you're using app.pulsex.com, you can check out the beta right now. If you find a bug, there's a little button there. It's a little tooltip icon. Click on it and you can report the bugs and you can help make PulseX better. It's up to you. It's up to the community, right? Testing in production. Yeah. Crypto, baby. I think Richard and the devs learned from PulseX that sometimes you got to test with real money on the line. Call it a beta because, I mean, on testnet, people don't really test or people don't care because it's not real money. I'm glad to hear that, Acid Thunder. Up and to the right says AI agents will navigate funds to PulseChain. We have great yields and privacy. We do have good yields. All the core coins on PulseX are actually doing pretty high yields, like double-digit APYs. There's a lot of trading activity between the triangle of Hex, PulseX, and PLS itself. The liquidity triangle that was created, and even INC token, just because lots of bots like arbitrage stuff. What is my take on the comment that nobody wants to touch PulseChain? Who said nobody wants to touch PulseChain? Some nobody? See if you frame that question, and if you frame that comment another way, some nobody wants to touch PulseChain. Cool. That's a good thing. I don't know. A lot of people talk shit when the price goes down. What are you going to do? Listen to every 100 follower, 18-year-old loser in the mom's basement? Yeah, nobody wants to touch nobody wants to touch crypto at all when it's down. That's how it works. And it goes up. It's called a Veblen good. It works the opposite of regular goods with crypto. The price goes up and people want to buy more. The price goes down and people talk shit about everything. It's not just PulseChain, every single coin. But there are coins that are actually closing up shop. There are coins that are actually quitting. What was one of those coins? Something just happened, right? Polynomial chain. Haven't really even heard much about polynomial chain, but they had 4 billion in volume, 8 million in TVL, and they had to walk away because nobody was using it. People are using PulseChain. I can check on the stats right now and tell you that there are 8 to 9,000 daily active users every single day, and they're real people. And you can verify this by going online on Twitter or YouTube or X or Instagram. Make a post about PulseChain, you will get real people engaging. It's a real grassroots community. So real that people have enough energy to hate on it. You're still watching this channel, right? Whether or not you might be hate watching, but you're watching. I see you little hater boys. Still waiting for Hex, PulseX, and PLS. Let me see. Didn't see anything happening after Hex pump. Yeah, nothing's pumping right now. It's really tough. It sucks, man. It sucks. This is the worst bear market of all time. Hands down, the worst bear market. It's not a 4-year cycle anymore. A lot of people are saying 5-year cycle. Maybe that's copium. I really don't think that, I'm certain that the halvening does not trigger the cycle. Liquidity triggers the cycle. Okay, look at Raoul Paul. Look at macroeconomics. Liquidity. It's always been macro. It's always been a risk-on asset. Crypto's never been a hedge against inflation. The good news is that inflation is below expectations. And the Fed's probably going to lower rates again. And in May, Jerome Powell is going to get replaced with a new Federal Reserve chair. It's going to be dovish. Everybody thinks he's hawkish, but they're wrong because they look at his words and not his actions. The new Federal Reserve chair, yeah, he talks shit about lowering rates now, but when he was in the Fed the previous time, I think it was the Bush administration, he lowered the rates. He did exactly what Bush wanted him to do. Look at people's actions, not their words. What happened with PulseC? I was 3 years ago positive about it. I don't even remember what PulseC is. Is that like an NFT platform? A lot of people said they were going to launch things and then they never launched them. I was never really that excited about NFTs in general, but yeah, NFTs are even more dead than crypto. Look, that's the game. People say they're going to do something and then they're disappointed. They don't follow through. They don't build the thing they said they were going to build. I don't really know. I don't really remember that one, to be honest. I see so much stuff in crypto, man. So much comes and goes. I wish I could remember all of it, but it's just too much. So much failure and disappointment. How will DCAing into BTC, ETH, PulseChain, mostly for the coming years 5 look like? It's up to you. There's no one size fits all here, guys. I DCA'd into crypto for many years, probably 7 years. Every time I got a paycheck, I put like a couple $100 into crypto. I'd be DCAing into ETH right now, personally. And then PulseChain if you want to get riskier. If you like riskier stuff, PulseChain goes down more because it has the potential to go up way more. But it's different. Depends when you get paid every other week. Are you an entrepreneur? Everyone's different. Was Roger Ver right? In hindsight, I'll admit when I was wrong about this, all right? I was told Roger Ver was the bad guy. Turns out he was just a guy trying to scale Bitcoin. Nobody listened to him. And the Epstein-funded Blockstream caused the block wars in 2017. It caused an offshoot of Bitcoin Cash by Roger Ver. All this other stuff. Bitcoin Private, Bitcoin SV, had Craig Wright, objective scammer, pretending to be Satoshi, getting sued for fraud. He got sued for fraud and he lost. Because he said he was Satoshi, but he's not. He's an idiot. His own mother says he's a liar. But Blockstream, funded by Epstein, I feel like the fucking Always Sunny in Philadelphia guy right now, the meme. I don't know if Blockstream genuinely wanted small blocks because they genuinely wanted to calcify Bitcoin, or if they were financially incentivized to do so. So what Blockstream did back in 2017 is they focused their efforts, and a lot of Blockstream employees were also Bitcoin core developers. They focused their efforts on building side chains like Liquid for settlement or for faster transactions. They focused their energy on building stuff like Lightning Network, which has a huge inbound liquidity problem, terrible user experience, and nobody uses it today. People use ETH. Better. People use Base Network, layer 2. It's better than any Bitcoin L2. And the L2s are entirely centralized. And there are these gimmicks where, hey, we own the entire chain. We could censor stuff on this chain. But if it rolls back up to Bitcoin eventually, we could say it's scaling Bitcoin. That's not how Bitcoin was supposed to scale. Roger Ver was right. And only years later did I realize Roger Ver probably wasn't the bad guy. And then he wrote a really cool book exposing the entire corruption of the IRS, and then they went after him. And now he's in the clear again, from what I hear. I think he paid his bribe and wish Roger the best. I think he's somewhere in the Caribbean islands. Ivan on Tech said nobody wants to touch PulseChain. Ivan on Tech is right. Nobody wants to touch it right now. Nobody wants to touch his coins either. Some people just like to talk shit about PulseChain. I don't understand. He must have sold his bag because Ivan's a smart guy. Ivan doesn't strike me as the type of guy that would shit talk his own bag while he's holding it. There are those out there. There are actual that all they do is complain and bitch about their bag while they're holding it. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure Ivan sold his bag. It's okay. He can buy back in later. Can I talk a bit about MEV bots and why it's important to adjust slippage? MEV bots basically can sandwich attack you. They read the mempool, they execute, they see when big orders are coming in, and they buy right before the big order. They use like all the gas in the, or they fill up all the block space, and they sandwich right before the big order, sell right after the big order, extract money and leave. So Ethereum built this thing called flash bots. Flash bots are a kind of an RPC client, I believe, in order to prevent MEV attacks, maximal extractable value, and it's basically extraction. PulseChain, as far as I know, doesn't have flash bots too active on it. But here's the thing about flash bots is that they also censor transactions based on the OPEC list, and something like 30% of Ethereum is running with MEV protection. That's also a little bit of censorship too. So on PulseChain, so that's MEV bots, but why is it important to adjust slippage? It's not always. You don't always want to adjust slippage. Like the default slippage in PulseX and Uniswap is something like 1% or maybe 2 or 3%. If you adjust it to 10, 20, 30%, it could be very dangerous. People do this for tax tokens. People do this because they're trying to get around the low liquidity, but ideally you don't want slippage. You can adjust slippage on really hyper low liquid meme coins. Ivan doesn't want to touch any altcoin. He's only partly in BTC. Yeah. Ivan has no allegiance, guys. He's not like a community member. He Ivan on Tech shows you referral links to go day trade and buy Bit. I'm not going to show you a referral link. This is when I buy the most if I can. Thank you. Whatchama do his thing. Watch me dude is thing. Hey, shout out to you on Facebook over there. You're probably the only guy watching on Facebook. Thank you. Love the content. Thank you, Poly Pulse Bets. Thank you. Until the macro approves, we will have to wait. The beatings will continue until macro improves. Even though we beat SEC, stopped us from our bull market. Not true. Did you miss the part when Hex went up 7x and all these other coins on PulseChain were going up 10, 20, 100x? We didn't even have a bull market yet, guys. There was no Altseason. There was no Altseason. That's a very microscopic frame to look through when you got to realize that the vast majority of altcoins that people were holding and with high conviction did not get these serious 2021 style pumps or 2017 style pumps. There's other coins out there, guys. Look at the whole market. And if you want to focus on, oh yeah, but Peanut Coin went up 500x, yeah. And guess who bag holded it? Everybody. Back down to the bottom. That's why you don't see anybody that actually got rich on the meme coins. Like maybe a couple people because they were smart. They were the insider cabals that dumped on everyone. Good. The scammers won, guys. Great. The scammers won in the bull market of 2024. But whatever. Murad with his meme coin picks. Murad round tripped all that. He was telling people to go buy SPX and Pepe. And yeah, they pumped and then they dumped just as much. So this bull market sucks for reasons outside of our control. And it sucks for reasons that are bigger than any one microscopic thing in the PulseChain lore. So people like to hyper focus on, we didn't pump because of this, but they're talking about stuff that is so minuscule. When Bitcoin's never existed in a quantitative tightening environment. Bitcoin's had 12 years of easy money, and only in the last 3 did Bitcoin exist with Federal Reserve rates greater than 0. So yes, this time is very different. Institutional money, high interest rates, turbulence with Donald Trump and tariff fears and geopolitical uncertainty and AI fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Everyone's worried they're going to lose their jobs. We're going to get through it on the other side, and it's going to be an age of abundance that nobody can see possible. We had no retail buyers in 2025. Yeah. Just to add on to that point, up and to the right, Donald Trump launched a goddamn meme coin. It only brought in 1% new people. 1% of the buyers of Trump coin were new people. What does that mean? It was one big poker table up until now. One big circle jerk, and we're all scamming each other, trying to take each other's money. That's how it is, whether you like it or not. Yeah, no retail bull market in 2025, just institutions buying. Yeah, Bitcoin went from what? 15K to 120. Bitcoin did an 8x, and now it's right back down to 60 9. Bitcoin's like right back to where it was during the previous top 4 years ago. And even Bitcoin didn't give people life-changing pumps. People that were getting rich on Bitcoin this cycle bought it 10 years ago. You're not getting rich on a 3x in Bitcoin. It's all still on the table, guys. I'm not trying to say this to be a doomer. I'm trying to say this to be like, we need to just wait a little bit longer. ETH going to pump with the Clarity Act. Yeah, the Clarity Act is another thing. The Clarity Act, Trump wants it. Paul Atkins, the SEC chairman, wants it. Everybody wants it. The only little thing is that Brian Armstrong from Coinbase and all the crypto exchanges are arguing with the banks because they want to give yield to their customers, and the banks don't want competition. But there was a recap of the last meeting they had. They had a closed door meeting. Apparently, how it went is something like the banks were willing to reach compromises with Coinbase and Kraken, all that stuff. It's going to happen. So, Clarity Act, stimulus checks, new Fed chair, ETH all-time high. This stuff is all in the future. This is going to be the reality that we're going to live in. Many people aren't going to make it because they're going to shake themselves out during these very dark times. Clarity Act will be postponed over and over. New Fed chair will be made out to be hawkish. Perfect setup. Yeah, look, everyone thinks he's hawkish, but he's just going to do whatever Trump wants him to do. That's why Trump put him in. You can literally listen to Trump say, the reason I picked him is because he's going to do what I want. Trump is not, he's not very, what's the word? He just wears his heart on his sleeve. I always say early investors make a lot of money. We finally found a good gem. Okay. I lost a lot in 4 memes and pump fun. Oh, we got spammers in the chat, boys and girls. Spammers in the chat. Time to block some motherfuckers. Community moderation. Alrighty, guys. Hey, guys, on YouTube, Acid Thunder, you're a mod, right? Start blocking these guys. Says appreciate your work. What's shaking, Hexagons? What's up? Checks my pulse. What do you think we need for Altseason? Then I kind of just went over that, Vinny. After that, he does what he wants, like Powell that Trump also selected. You know, inflation's at a low point, right? Like, he'll do what Trump wants because all of the numbers are fine. Like, the PMI is now above 50. Inflation's lower. Damn, I got to delete all this spam. Thoughts on ZK Path? I don't know. I don't know what that is. What else is going on? Subscribe to me over on X if you want to talk, if you want to join the group chat. PulseChain Hex community action required. Hey guys, you know what we can do? Here's something we could all do, right? If you Google Richard James Schuler, okay? You Google him. Here, I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to pull this up and show you guys what we can walk through here. Share my screen. All right. This is called search engine optimization, SEO. All right. What happens when I Google Richard Hart? Uh-oh, sec.gov. That's not good. But what you can do to help out, guys, what you can do to help out is you can take this internet search result on Google, you can click into it and you can report it for being irrelevant and outdated. And you can reply with a nice message on Google and say, this case was dismissed based on failure to state a claim and lack of jurisdiction. Richard Hart, PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex, all the defendants beat the SEC because the judge dismissed the case. Please remove this Google listing. We could all do that for every single article, and if 100 people did that, hey, maybe we would have a lot better SEO. Unfortunately, the .gov links are pretty hard to clear because Google ranks them very high. And of course, we can't rely on the SEC to actually pull down their lawsuit. But this is a 2-year-old lawsuit, and Richard won about a year ago. That's something we could all do. If you guys want to be useful, be helpful, take 2 minutes of your time, Google Richard Hart and just start reporting all of the negative articles as irrelevant, outdated. A lot of the Protos.com articles, you can just say those are libelous or slanderous or fake news, whatever, because they are. A lot of times they are. There's a 3-dot little button next to each search result in Google. Peacock, though, guys, Peacock token. Let's take a look at our beloved Peacock. Oh my God. What a beautiful chart, holding up very well compared. So PulseChain is bleeding, right? And when you plot this next to Pulse, all-time highs next to Pulse, guys. So Peacock has been storing value because thanks to Liberty Swap team doing the buybacks, all their bridge volume has been supporting the price of the Peacock token. That's what it looks like. So that was one of my picks. Yeah, you're welcome. What else do we got here? Anybody want to come lay some tiles? No, thanks. Keep doing that work though, man. Keep putting in the work. One day, I strongly believe crypto will still be an early retirement for people because everyone's too scared. When everyone's scared of something, like, it's time to buy. When everybody wants it, it's time to dump on them. Macro looks positive for crypto. Dude, every single macro indicator is like flashing that it's either green or it's going to be green. And yet crypto still hasn't pumped. Stocks are at all-time highs. Gold's at an all-time high. Last time this happened, crypto pumped right after. Look, Elon Musk is saying we're going to have to print more money just to keep up with the demand from all the AI software and all the new products being coming out. Literally everybody can be an entrepreneur now. Everybody can code something just by prompting into their Claude code or their text editor. Hex Wizard, shout out to Hex Wizard, said I did that on my Google account, my wife's, my business account, and my son's account. Hell yeah, bro. Acid Thunders. Oh, Hex Wizard, I'm gonna make you a mod because you're the man. Most wanted token. Most wanted token is struggling. I said this publicly on my Twitter a while back, but I rotated all my most token into Peacock token, and it held up a lot better. Let's plot this next to Pulse. It's just following the PLS chart right now, guys. Most token. Still highly traded. Still number 18. Not totally irrelevant. This is Richard Hart's meme coin. So who knows? Maybe there's a future for Richard Hart's actual meme coin. What's up with Maria Scammer? LARP. PulseChain is unfortunately ripe with LARPs. Some people are very gullible. Not everybody, but some people are desperate, they're gullible, and then some guy can come along and pretend to say smart stuff, and people will just believe this QAnon level BS. Fad. Call Maria a fad, that's funny. All right. Yeah, the brain rot, guys. The brain rot is working. I've been learning some YouTube Shorts editing skills behind the scenes as well. Oh, and the tablets are still underway, by the way. Still only a small fraction of the tablets given out. PulseChain tablets, there's 2 million of these things. Maybe 150K have gone out. It's really all about the distribution plan, by the way. If you guys want and you have a creative distribution plan, maybe your friends or maybe at your workplace, right? There's a bunch of smart people. Maybe you work at a aerospace engineering company. Those guys sound smart. They seem like they'd understand crypto. Maybe there's a new conference in your industry. You want a pallet of tablets? Go to rsgriffinfoundation.org. rsgfoundation.org. You can request like a whole pallet of tablets. They'll send them to you for free. All you got to do is have a somewhat decent marketing plan. You can't just say, I want the tablets. You need to say what you're going to do with them, because we need to get them out and we need to get them to people that really either know crypto or like crypto or are open to understanding it. Guys, take a look at this post from our Bitcoin. This is from our Bitcoin. This is 8 years ago. And this just puts everything in perspective. Today, I took out a $325,000 equity loan on my house to purchase 191 Bitcoin. And then someone commented, of course, firstly, let me wish you good luck. Secondly, let me tell you how much of an idiot you are. You know what? You know what 191 Bitcoin would be worth if you held it for that 8 years? It would have been worth $19 million at one point. So that $300,000 would have turned into $19 million. Now, here's what probably happened. He probably didn't even hold it that long, because 8 years ago was what? 2016. So he probably wrote it up to 20K, thought he was rich. Maybe it crashed down to 6K in 2018. Oh, wait, shit. 8 years ago was 2018. So he probably bought it at 6K. He probably wrote it up to maybe 14K. Maybe he wrote it up to 60K. But do you think he sold the top? Or do you think he got scared somewhere along the way? Problem is, like, people just don't understand that they got to keep holding. Big update on the Internet Money Wallet, everybody. InternetMoney.io. Internet Money Wallet. Got a huge update. Shout out to KG for this one. I got to mention Internet Money Wallet. I think it looks a lot better. I want to know if you guys would actually recommend it, because to me, it's getting to that point where it's good enough to compete with MetaMask in terms of the UX, the UI. It looks like a wallet. It's got every feature you could ask for. It's got every chain, Bitcoin even, Ethereum, Base, Avalanche, whatever chain you like. It's all the EVM chains and Bitcoin, but it's very PulseChain friendly. All your token logos are there. Maybe the only feature I'd like to see would be to automatically detect the tokens that you're holding and the USD value, like kind of like Rabby did. That's one of the reasons Rabby was so awesome. But shout out to the team. Always building. KG and a small team of 3 to 5 people. It's a real David and Goliath situation there, because there's a lot of wallets out there, and it's hard to make a name for yourself. The key thing with Internet Money Wallet is their time token. It's like their dividend token. So you can think of it like PulseX, but the token within the wallet. If you hold time token, you just get an automatic drip of fees, and all the fees that are generated by people swapping in the wallet, they go to pay out time token holders, which is why I believe time token is actually holding up pretty good. Let's see. This is time on BNB chain. How about time on PulseChain where all the liquidity's at? Price is pretty wrecked. Let's see in PLS terms. Yeah, in PLS terms, it's actually gone up quite a bit. Look at this. In PLS terms, it went from 7 to 107. So it almost did like a 12, 13x. Hex Wizard, I'm blue, dabba dee, dabba die. Hex Monkey, I second that. Hanson says Crypto Brothers. Acid Thunder says I'll check the new updates. Oh, we got a Mexican 20. Thank you so much. 87 licensee. Thank you for that. Oh my gosh. Skip alert. I think I can skip all these alerts. And the chat box. Oh my gosh. All right. Maybe I shouldn't have enabled those alerts. Pause those again. Richard Hart, guys. Beefing with the creator of Bitcoin, one of them, Nick Szabo. All he talks about is privacy. Lasso.finance now supports PulseChain stable deposits. The interesting thing about Lasso.finance is that they support the Hex-backed stablecoin, HexDC. Neil says, great wallet. He's talking about Internet Money Wallet. Artie Williams says, is PulseX better to hold than PulseChain? My theory on PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex, all the core coins, is that because all the liquidity of Hex and PulseX are tied to PLS, that if people are going to rush to buy core coins, I think Hex and PulseX are going to pump higher than PLS. But PLS is also going to pump along the way because you have to buy it and you have to hop through it in the order route to get to Hex and PulseX. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Maybe people love buying Pulse and they just really want Pulse and that goes up higher than PulseX. But because all the core coins are connected and liquidity bonded and have this brand association with them, it feels once they start ripping, they could fly a lot higher than actual Pulse because they're the endpoints. But then again, people also want to go buy meme coins, right? And that causes other demand for PLS that ends up in other liquidity pools. It's a good question. It's a good question. What will move the needle for this ecosystem? Like I've been saying, man, what's going to move the needle is good old-fashioned macro, good old-fashioned Clarity Act, Fed lowering rates, inflation's low, PMI is high. Maybe some stimulus checks would help. That's all it is. We need a little more market certainty. The World Uncertainty Index is the highest it's ever been in history. And the Fear and Greed Index for crypto is the lowest it's ever been in history. The Fear and Greed Index was at a 5 the other day. It's never been that low in all 15 years of crypto's existence, 16 years. And the Uncertainty Index is through the roof because people are scared of AI. But once everybody gets a handle on this, there's going to be so much economic activity. And what makes me bullish on AI is that every AI is going to be loaded with a crypto wallet, which, yeah, they're going to use stablecoins, but they're going to need Pulse, Ethereum, BNB. They're going to need base layer tokens to pay the gas fees for all these services. Won't name names, but would a DEX that can DCA, execute limit orders, and have NFT marketplace be interesting? Probably, sir. Are you talking about Switch.win? Bro, you can drop the name. I've heard of it. I'll talk about it. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff out there. Don't tease us, Mr. Monty. When's the coin coming out for ProveX? Neil, nobody knows, but my guess is sometime this year because the beta's already out. Lucky Luke says, hey, what's up, Lucky Luke? Hey, Lucky Luke, I'm going to make you a mod, sir. I just realized that I just don't have any mods, and there was some raid of some shitcoiner scammers. And checks my pulse. Congratulations, you're a moderator. Use the banhammer wisely. Was looking through older photos and found some of the Hex crews. That was cool. I remember that. Checks my pulse. Not out yet, but coming soon. That's cool, man. Is it on PulseChain? I hope it's on PulseChain. Anything that adds more features, more functionality, cool with me. Fortunately for NFTs, I don't know how to get those popular again. Like, I don't understand. Like, the future for NFTs might be more utilitarian and more functional. Concert tickets, plane boarding passes, rewards, exclusive memberships to artists and things like that. I don't know about the days of Bored Ape Yacht Club mooning or people paying $27 million for a Beeple NFT and him calling everybody. Like, I don't know if those days are going to be here again. MX is working on limit orders for PulseChain in the next week or so. That's cool. They're also coming for a new bridge standard for PulseChain. All right. Bridges are dangerous. I hope they test it a lot. Agree on the macro. Wonder if we can make some transparent sponsorship system for different athletes to move our reputation into crypto space. Bro, if athletes, let me know. If athletes, I mean, it seems a lot of athletes really like crypto. I don't know what it is about. I've met a couple NFL guys that actually understand crypto deeply. And a lot of guys in like the NFL are choosing to get paid in Bitcoin. I think it's awesome. Like, I think it's maybe all the sports betting, all the FanDuel, the DraftKings, because they use crypto for a lot of that gambling. Maybe sports guys are just more inclined to understand crypto. But I'm thinking about 3 specific cases of dudes that I've met in my life that, like, oh yeah, crypto, PulseChain, I've heard of it. I've seen your channel. It's pretty interesting. Doing IRL good, basically move our reputation when the money rotates. Bro, I think we're aura farming like to the max right now. I think our reputation is getting stronger every day just by showing up. There's so many people online that just show up every day. People are at conferences giving out tablets. People are sending stuff in the mail. People are making cool content, telling stories on the internet. Look, even this stupid QAnon style stuff. I mean, at least the people are storytelling and it keeps people engaged. Yeah, maybe they're occasionally getting scammed and grifted on, but like PulseChain is just max aura farming, dude. Yeah, I think the new bridge is secure and built with provers in layer 0. Oh, I've heard of Layer Zero. Similar to Layer Zero. Mr. Coffee, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you. I really appreciate it, Alex Costner. Hanson says, true, I agree, just preaching the choir law. New sheriff in town, boys. Yeah, you better behave. Checks my pulse is gonna get you. He's gonna get you with the band hammer. Nope says, hey, appreciate what you do making the content. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Everyone's doing their part. Even you guys smashing the like button, being in the comment section, being in the just tuning in, guys. It really does matter. I do appreciate it. Not giving up hope, not being a cry. I know it's hard. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And so the tribe we've collected are the strong-willed, physically, mentally strong, mental fortitude. It's a winner's mindset, guys. You got to see it. You got to feel the wish fulfilled, but not be desperate, because that's a pendulum. Yeah, I think it'd be cool if PulseChain had a website like Fiat League. Oh, so you could see like how much money they're printing. That'd be cool. You could probably make that on Claude Code in 30 minutes. Bro, go to Fiat League, put it in Claude Code, and say, I want a PulseChain themed version of this website. Magic. Don't be afraid of AI, guys. Don't be afraid of your terminal. Copying, pasting. Like human language is now coding. It's really cool. Plus, you copy for shill grinding, still grinding. I thought you said shield grinding. Thanks, Hex Monkey. Does PulseChain have limit orders right now? I think you can go to. Does Switch.win have limit orders? Brandon, are you watching? Does Switch.win have limit orders? I think also Tetra.run was supposed to have limit orders. Oh, also 9inch, right? Doesn't 9inch have limit orders? Pretty sure they do. PulseX does not, but I mean, it doesn't really need to. So many other people are going to try. Still haven't checked that mail, Coffee. You haven't got one in your mailbox yet? Bro, if you want some tablets, like shoot me a DM. Funny thing is, crypto is not useful when the macro is bad since it falls with it. But when macro is good, crypto accentuates the goodness. Yeah, crypto. When it sucks, it's terrible. When it's good, it's amazing. It's just an amplification on everyone's emotions. Coffee is the man standing here grinding after 5 years of down only. Not easy for sure. Thank you, Lucky Luke. Do it for you, buddy. Look, 80% of the people out there are good people. It's only the small, retarded minority that of cry that just piss me off. That's all. And they don't watch my channel. Or maybe they hate watch. The year of the snake ends tomorrow, says Trevor. The year of the horse starts the next day. Let's go. Fire horse, baby. I don't even know what this means, but I hope it's good for my bags. Me too. I don't measure. Okay. Look, Peacock, guys. Top hat. There might be a plan. Don't say I didn't warn you. People only like to buy it when it goes back up. C-Dance 2, everybody. I think everybody could get familiar with C-Dance 2 and make some really fun viral content. Like, C-Dance 2 is the new image. It's a new video generation model. The thing about C-Dance 2, it's by, what is it? The same company behind TikTok. I actually forgot what the actual name. Jing Yang. Some Chinese company, right? Huh. Flags. Oh, no, my live chat, guys. My live chat on TikTok. I have not been reading my live chat on TikTok, but thank you, guys. I got 200 viewers on TikTok and 3 gifters. Thank you. Don Video over on TikTok and just a Pulse guy. Thank you, guys. The thing about Streamlabs is that it doesn't combine all my chats in one place. I also got put in a timeout for hate speech. Oops. Maybe I'll just say regarded. Regarded. Just followed the hosts. Hey, Richard's brother is in the house. Thanks, Richard's brother. Thanks for the roses, good sir. You sure know how to woo a man. Someone's talking about PDI over on TikTok. Brother, we have 5 years to wait. It's not a lot. It is a lot, sir. 5 years is a long time. I'm going to be here 5 more. The meme of the guy that's mining for diamonds, then he gives up right before he gets to the diamonds. You don't want to be that guy. All right. I'm not going to be that guy. It could happen this year. It could happen next year. The one thing I'm fairly certain of is that the 4-year cycle is dead. I was talking about that 2 years ago. I said the 4-year cycle could easily be dead. Macro. Institutional money took over. Crypto scammed everybody. The only real winners were ETFs and insider cabals on pump fund and the banks. But there will be a retail-friendly cycle. But right now, retail is too scared. They don't have money to pay their bills, and inflation is hitting where it hurts. It's hitting in rent, gas, and bills. Bills are just getting higher. So the actual real inflation is much higher than the reported, and people are losing their jobs to AI. We're going to figure it all out. We always pull through it. Every generation thinks that their society is on the brink of collapse. Like people in ancient Rome were probably thinking, oh, we're on the brink of collapse. People in the First World War were probably thinking that the world was ending. There's a book about this. I forgot what the book was. Basically, the moral of the story is there are always good times and bad times. You need the bad times to have the good times. And there's always some level of anxiety and depression and struggle with humanity. But humanity always pulls through. We always come out on top because of our perseverance. We're a very resilient species. What do I think about Elon's X money coming out. Look, that could open up crypto, right? What if Elon decides to allow crypto payments? What if Mr. Beast, guys? Let's talk about Mr. Beast really quick. Bitmine, Bitcoin mining company. Their strategy? Buy Ethereum. Ironic, right? They buy 3% of the Ethereum supply, billions of dollars. What do they invest in? 200 million to Mr. Beast, into a company called Beast Financial. Now, Mr. Beast files Beast Financial, and the patent, if you read it, is for cryptocurrency exchange trading services. This is in Mr. Beast Financial patent. Then, just a week ago, Mr. Beast bought a fintech app. I actually don't know what it's called, but he bought a fintech app. What if Mr. Beast, in alliance with the $200 million deal that he got from Bitmine and Tom Lee, exposes Ethereum and decentralized finance to an entire generation globally of new users? And when you consider the fact that Mr. Beast has more subscribers than the entire population of the USA, actually the entire population of the continent of North America, you will be very bullish. I think emotions come from people borrowing money borrowing money to buy crypto is that's a tricky situation. I don't recommend that, guys. You don't want to take out debt to buy crypto. Having debt is stressful enough already. And then if what you bought with the debt is going up and down 30, 50%, don't do that. I'm sorry about your friend. It's never worth it, guys. Pain is always temporary. And what do you call it? I can't say the word, otherwise I'm going to get banned. Anti-lifing yourself is a permanent solution to a temporary problem, to quote Richard Hart. It's going to get better, guys. The end of the world is just the beginning. That's what Hansen just said. Okay. Funkmaster Hacks Coffee. Hello. Lucky Luke says AI will not create unemployment. It will rebalance it for sure. But also so many workers missing, and maybe doing bureaucracy will finally have to do something productive. I think AI is going to force a lot of people to finally have to think about what they actually like doing, because people don't realize the power that is in their terminal. You have a god in your computer that can make anything, and it's just your imagination and your drive. If you don't want to do anything, you can just get hooked up to the Matrix pod and scroll through YouTube shorts all day, and you can live off universal basic income, which is already here. It's called the welfare state. Maybe there is some kind of Matrix pod class, but you can take it upon yourself to literally do whatever you want nowadays. And that's scary. I think that's scary for some people to have infinite possibility, because we're not taught to think about what we want. We're taught to get a job and go to work. And yeah, human nature, it is good to do something. Like physical labor to a degree is rewarding. But you don't want to do back-breaking work all day, every day for 40 years. I've done it. I've done some level of manual labor. My first job as a caddy, surprisingly, very hard job. Double bagging, 5-hour loops, 10-hour days, double loops. The bags weighed more than I did in the hot sun in the summertime. Dickhead rich golfers yelling at you for their bad shot. You're out there in the rough searching for balls. I think it builds character. We're not going to have to do a lot of that stuff anymore with Optimus robots and AI in them, and AIs are using crypto, and you're going to have a little robot servant. This is what OpenClaw is. OpenClaw is like your own little robot servant. It's pretty cool. Hex Wizard says P-Hex will be the winning racehorse. Wouldn't that just be beautiful? Richard Hart's original creation on a new chain with a new chart. That would just be poetic justice, wouldn't it, Hex Wizard? If P-Hex was the victor. Yo, Vic Foundation, thanks for the 10 coins on TikTok, my brother. Vic Foundation just comes in. Cash Money, what's up? Likes the live. Thank you, Cash Money. We need to boost Coffee, Sami, and Steve. Let's take TikTok over. I love the energy, Don Biddy. Is TikTok where it's at? Should I be streaming more on TikTok? Wonder if I'm banned on Facebook, too, for the hate speech. We need to boost banned on Facebook, too. TikTok is fun, guys. I think we got some good ideas. We can do some fun tablet stuff with TikTok. What I think we should do on TikTok Shop is sell tablets for $1. But then they're also lottery sweepstakes tickets. And then 5 of the tablets have a $5,000 prize. 1 of the tablets has a $10,000 prize. And it's like you're pulling a golden ticket kind of thing. That'd be a really fun idea. I think I want to do that with the tablets. We got to make the money to give away. We got to sell enough that we can give away money to random people. I sold my Hex at 1 cent and my Matic Polygon at 1 cent. I was in day 1 with Hex. My son loves me, though. That's all I need. God bless you, Jaeger Pirate. Still trying, though. Hey, look, man. You got a son that loves you. Can't put a price tag on that, can you? And honestly, if you sold your Hex at 1 cent, have you seen the price of Hex now? It's a lot lower than 1 penny. To buy back in, God, I can't believe Hex is so low. Wait till the polarity reverses on markets. Worst bear equals best bull. Could be. Thomas says, thank you for helping with these videos during these times, Coffee. Got to ignore any emotion. Yeah, it's not so much ignoring emotion, but focusing on the positive ones. I still get pissed off and irritated and depressed. It's not like I'm above all that. I don't focus on it for that long. You just got to choose what serves you and put that on your identity like clothing that you wear. Once you realize it is actually a choice, and I binge watched all that self-help shit. I binge watched like Tony Robbins and all that stuff for years. But at the end of the day, if you just taking action will prove to yourself that you're capable of the identity that you want. Because you can think yourself into an identity, but you need to have real life proof. And that's why just doing things, learning new skills. Like speaking as a man, I'm sure women are probably similar, but also different. As men, we want to be validated by being useful, right? And to be useful, we need to learn skills because you're not like life is a video game. You start off as a character with level 0. You don't do anything. You're useless. And then you pick your path and sometimes you mess up and you go back a level, but that's okay. You can keep just learning new stuff. Larry Ellison just bought TikTok. Oh, I would rethink using that app now. Look, man, is it better that Larry Ellison owns TikTok or the Chinese government? As if they're not spying on everything we do anyway, man. I've sacrificed giving a fuck about all that in order to get the message out there and to have influence or some level of influence. A tiny little crypto cult. Because look, how else are you going to get out to where the people are at? They're on social media and it's not private. Jaeger Pirate says that's true. Hexakin says hot. Hexakin Michelle, hello. TikTok is fun, guys. 2,094 likes on TikTok. Wow. 200 viewers on TikTok. 3 new followers. Guys, follow on TikTok, follow on Facebook. We're taking things to the next level here, guys. Vic Foundation says, oh yeah, go to SJ if you want tablets. Shoot her a DM. Again, you might have to cover the shipping cost or whatever, but you just tell her what you want to do with them. If it's a halfway decent plan, Neil, I hate to break it to you, but the forked broken protocol is not fixable, and Richard's not behind it. I know people that knew Nikolai. It wasn't about what everybody thinks it was about. He was a troubled person. Maybe there was some element of getting mixed up with the wrong people, but it wasn't because of any threat to the global financial system. It was simply for greed and a bit of mental illness. And there's a lot more DeFi founders out there that are alive than dead. So no, this isn't some secret message. No, we're not laying low because Richard needs to keep a low profile. It's just not possible. Like the oracle's broken. I can go on and on. But the people that bought early, look, it's for some people, that bag was the biggest bag they've ever seen on paper. Maybe it's the first time you saw 6 figures. Maybe it's the first time you saw 7 figures. Now it retraced, went all the way back down, and you want it to go up again. It's called sunk cost fallacy. And the same thing is true with Hex. Hex is down 99%, but the only difference with Hex is that the entire narrative of Hex isn't based off of BS lies. It's not based off made up stories that I suspect to some level is gullibility, but to some other level is grifter puppeteers, which are financially incentivized perversely to say whatever they can. Look, if you have $10 million of a coin and you're anonymous, don't you think you'll just say whatever BS screenshot of all this? People are weaponizing other people's ignorance of how to not read a block explorer, not knowing how basic protocols work and functions and things. And so to some level, it's ignorance, and on another level, it's malice. That's my thoughts on that. Marcus, what's up, dude? Rob says, Inc. $7,000. All right. Rob is a bulltard. So am I. Checks my pulse says, my son was salty. He bought 14 cents, told him to double down at 5. Oh, shit. And then I told him at 2K was now 87. Oh, man. So I rounded him up to a milli. E-hex, damn. No emotion, pure patience. Yeah, that's nice. It's nice of you to do for your son. Yeah, crypto teaches people how to invest. There's a much lower age barrier. Now, yeah, you should probably be, of age, whatever that means, to invest in crypto. But I know kids that are invested in crypto that like they're doing all right and they're learning how the world works. It's the great equalizer. You don't have to be an accredited investor. You don't have to go to 8 years of financial education and join the good old boys club. There's no gatekeepers. You don't have to work in investment banking and be like the pledge for 4 years, work 80-hour days. It's beautiful. I worked in finance, guys. I know the culture of finance companies. TradFi. It sucks, man. I never wanted to be one of those old. And if you're in finance, great, good for you. If you're an old dude in finance, you're probably worth a lot of money, and you're probably not watching this channel because you're already rich, right? But crypto is breaking down the borders. It's giving everybody a fair shot, which also means a fair shot to lose it all and learn the hard way. I'll have to rewatch that to see what I was talking about. All right, guys, subscribe, share, leave a comment. You guys are great. More can we